chosen 4 areas that we know are relevant to the coming school academic year and are topics that you can go back to your clients with for some deeper discussions. Ascot London Consulting target our client engagement through our VCIO proposition. In brief, this is a consultative and professional services led engagement based on a monthly recurring contract where an agreed number of days per month are assigned to your client that allows us to work together with them and shape and align their IT strategy. Through the contract engagement, one-time non-recurring IT projects are identified and are delivered as part of that client journey. This service can be delivered by Auditel through ALC that delivers mutual percentage revenue share, Auditel project management and procurement services, and finally, a route to deliver annualised audited cost-saving reporting back to your client. Adrian will touch briefly on this service at the start of the presentation, but if you'd like to find out more, then please do get in touch. So the key areas for discussion on today's webinar are as follows: school internet bandwidth and access to local resources, blended learning, cybersecurity and data protection, and finally, managed print services, at which point we will be handing back to Joe at Advance. The session is also being recorded and will be available for distribution shortly after. Please therefore let me know if you'd like me to send it to you. Okay, I think that covers everything as far as introductions are concerned. So let's begin the presentation. So over to you, Adrian. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. So let's kick off with what is the role of the Chief Information Officer. Chief Information Officer is also known as Chief Digital Information Officer and is responsible for the strategic insight on how technology will drive the business or school technology forward and deliver the vision. We are the glue between technology itself and the business aspect of an organisation, linking the two together to meet the business's objectives, goals and vision. CIOs can manage IT resources and budgets, make recommendations on all purchase equipment, manage IT resources, plan and develop policy, evaluate security, and calculate how to make an additional profit or efficiency using the business technology. They are effectively responsible for the company's technology roadmap. We at ALC offer a truly independent and flexible virtual CIO service to the market. We are not affiliated to any IT provider or vendor, ensuring the interest remains with the client. This service is designed to disrupt the marketplace and offer VCIO for schools, charities and SME organisations that are unable to afford or disillusioned by a full-time strategic lead of IT. Today, we are concentrating on the school challenges for the upcoming academic year and what ALC and Auditel can target to help overcome these challenges. Next on the list, internet bandwidth and access to local resources. One of Auditel's strengths is finding great value services, and one which is lacking in non-city schools is good internet connectivity. It is the core of any education service provision these days. This is a great lead in to other services, but without a good, reliable internet connection and failover service, it leaves a school desolate of its cloud resources. If low bandwidth is still an issue, then we can facilitate internet optimization technologies. Neatly tying the provision of internet and cybersecurity together are the deployment of next generation firewalls. Schools need a solid, current firewall to protect their connections to the cloud from external threats, protect and safeguard their students from the internet, and limit application services using all their bandwidth. A good example of this are streaming services. Good control through mediated education use is essential to ensure that bandwidth is used mainly for the connections the school requires. On to the biggest topic of the discussion so far, blended learning. The pandemic isn't over yet. The government is determined to get schools back to full capacity in September, but with the threat of further waves of infection and local lockdowns, a blend of both on-site and remote learning are required. A new normal is a term coined for the moment, but it is far from normal, as the creation of blended learning for the new now is a requirement that is going to be Ofsted inspected. Ofsted have said that they will focus on carrying out visits, which they haven't done so far during the pandemic, and then we'll look at how leaders are managing the return to full-time education for their students, including considering blended learning. Now, in the slide handout, we have included some good links to back up this information. The first piece in here is from the government website about Ofsted inspections and the way they're going to cover those from September 2020. Again, we will hand out the slides upon request afterwards. But even if the schools have remote learning capability, are they engaging the students? Does the school have enough blended learning resources to provide a full curriculum? Whether the school are using Microsoft, Google, or Apple digital collaboration platforms, virtual learning environments are still required to deliver good curriculum content. Schools who have struggled to provide learning during the COVID-19 pandemic so far will not get a free pass for the upcoming academic year. Historically, not enough resource has been placed on content creation in these environments. During the 2020 lockdown, live statistical figures from leading VLE platform providers have highlighted a 30% drop in engagement from students, falling to 35% towards the end of the term. Other studies have found inadequate resources and lack of planning, preparation, and assessment materials were a source of remote learning fatigue. Some students and peer observations have cited a lack of training in online presenting, with others not enough e-learning materials. So what are the solutions? Firstly, does the school have Google Classrooms, Microsoft 365, or Apple Classrooms as a digital collaboration platform? If not, we can help. Ascot London Consulting have the skills and services to get any school online quickly and efficiently. Does the school have a virtual learning environment platform? VLE platforms have improved vastly over the last 10 years. Investment in a platform, training, and pedagogy are an essential element of remote learning. If a school do not have a platform, we can help. We are vendor agnostic and we are not tied to any one provider. But if initial outlay is the issue, then low-cost versions are available. E-learning resources. Pre-purchased e-learning resources are a mechanism for curriculum delivery, but they are no substitution for a well-prepared e-learning resource from the teacher themselves. If you need help with the strategy of e-learning, we have vast experience with helping to create e-learning teams, sourcing e-learning platforms, and helping find the right solutions for schools. Lastly, training strategies and programs. Professional development and focused training are essential for boosting educators' competence and equipping teachers with the tools and strategies to deliver the curriculum. The next subject is about cybersecurity and data protection. And we've seen that working from home has caused a lapse in security. The rush to provide remote learning has left vast gaps in cloud-based security, connectivity to home computers, and connectivity back to the school itself. We at ALC can provide assessment of cyber risk, from finding the gaps through to strategic planning. Microsoft Teams and Google Classroom security assessments and remediation can be provided. We have the partners in place to do so. And we, ALC, provide data protection consultative and e-learning services, as well as a data protection officer as a service. Again, we need these as we have seen good evidence from both the National Cyber Crime Security Centre and current trends of schools hacking attempts, mainly based upon organised crime. It is not about students trying to hack the environments themselves. with a certain prevalence with 365 and Google Classrooms, as well as the digital collaboration platforms being insecure at the time and requiring good lockdown methods. Lastly, managed print services. We have great practical experience of implementing managed print strategies with many partners, but one such partner helped us consolidate a print fleet of over 116 devices across 3 sites, down to 32 MFD units. Another project based in the UAE completed an MFD service, consolidating 5 separate managed print contracts down to 1 provider. Both delivered cost reduction, but more importantly, waste reduction. In the schools that we've seen, especially in the UAE project, we saw black binfuls of print waste produced every half a day at each unit. And these waste reductions saved a great deal of cost, time, and money, all achieving a managed print consolidation and efficiencies delivered on budget and on time. One such provider was Joe from Advanced UK, who we will hand over to after we've taken any questions. Thank you. If you do need to contact us, the contact details are shown on the screen.
Thanks, Adrian. So we're going to hand back to Joe now. Thanks very much indeed.